And welcome to Vibe It Up, multiple streams of wellness. And I think the spirits are with us, like it must be Halloween or something, because something weird is going on in the green room. Not sure quite what that is, but we're here today to talk to you about all different types of wellness and all different types of consciousness and all different types of ways that you can put this in, incorporate it into your life. And we're back again with Dr. Doug Lehrer, who is coming quite a regular here. Doug Lehrer is a master transformational healer, a visionary, an innovator of cellular resonance, cell to soul healing, which is a powerful energy medicine system that finds and clears the traumatic stress that gets stuck in your brain and your body. And it deeply affects and interferes with your health, your happiness, your relationships, and your success. Dr. Doug is the author of the 7 Quantum Healing Secrets. He's a board-certified doctor of chiropractic and board-certified quantum medicine doctor with the American Naturopathic Board of Medicine. Dr. Doug is the founder of the Lehrer School of Energy Medicine and Rich in Health Foundation, which is a not-for-profit that teaches doctors and healing professionals how to heal the stress and emotions and the epigenetics generational patterns that activate your brain, your body, your soul's natural healing powers, and embody your true self-purpose, prosperity, and your love consciousness. Dr. Doug has performed over 500,000 patient healings worldwide. He practices in Hollywood, California, and Dr. Doug helps many change-making luminaries, entrepreneurs, professionals, executives, royalty, athletes, celebrities, actors, producers, directors, and writers, and parents, children, and teens too. So let's welcome Dr. Doug Lehrer into our studio today.
Thank you, Lexis. Thank you.
Hey, Doug. I feel like I'm very loud compared to you. Can you turn your volume up a little bit? How are you today?
I am good. And
well, you tell us you're coming from Hollywood or Los Angeles, but I see the Golden Gate Bridge behind you. Well, you must be traveling.
Well, I left my heart. No, my heart. That's San Francisco.
Oh my goodness, you are a riot. I always have fun with you, Doug. All righty, so
how's it sound now? Sound better?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
Yeah.
We want everybody to hear you because everything you have to say is so fascinating. So we're on the Multiple Streams of Wellness show, and we're talking about soul, all your soul to your cell healing. So I got to ask you this. How did you come up with the concept of cellular resonance, soul to cell healing? That's pretty unique.
Yeah, well, it is obviously I've been in practice a while and treated a lot of people. And,
yeah, some 35 years, I hear, right?
Yeah, more like 38.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I would say 35 plus, until it hits 40, and then we'll say 40. But
oh, wow.
Yeah, so, it started on my own journey of my own health to get well and figuring that out on how to get better. I learned something a long time ago. And it's something our audience, I want to share with you because it's so important, because asking questions, the right questions, understanding that we're a mind, a body, and a soul, that there's higher information for all of us coming from your higher self that we don't listen to, but we need to ask. And when we really ask with sincerity, really from our heart, show me. That's what I did. When I was sick, when I had excruciating pain where I prayed to die, I had 2 herniated discs on my low back. The pain went down my legs into my big toe. And it's like, I chop up my toe. I mean, it was so painful. Every movement I made was painful.
Crazy.
And I prayed to die. And it wasn't happening. And I was thinking,
it's pretty bad when you've got so much pain that you'd rather not live. You're such a happy-go-lucky guy. That's even hard to imagine. Must have been pretty bad.
That's so much pain. I mean, literally, rolling out of bed and crawling on the floor to the bathroom because it was too painful to stand up, and then getting myself crying in excruciating pain to kind of get up onto the throne, so to speak, and do your business. I mean, it was like horrible. And of course, to bear down, I cried. and screamed and prayed, please God, take me.
Mm.
And pretty soon after a few months of that, I said, this isn't working.
No
And
kidding.
all the things I was doing, I went to many different kind of chiropractors because my own profession is pretty awesome. There's lots of brilliant doctors doing all sorts of different things. A lot of people think it's just, spinal adjustments, which the majority of chiropractors do, but there's many techniques. And I learned so many different ways to do things and understood the body from going to school and studied Eastern medicine and Eastern philosophy and spirituality. And I started, meditating with master meditators from the East and monks and so on. And, you know, I just started to ask different questions. As I did, my consciousness opened up. Like, how do I heal the body? How do I heal myself? What's really creating these problems? And I was just asking questions. And then I go to bed at night and I wake up with answers from the
Mm.
dreams, from that those lucid states of consciousness. And then sometimes I'd walk into Barnes and Noble, remember that bookstore days, and
Yeah.
and books would fall off the shelves in front of me,
Yeah. And
pushed
they'd open
off
to a certain page,
because
it would mean
that's
something,
right.
right?
We have spiritual guides and healing guides and helpers if we'll allow ourselves to let them help us. And
Hmm.
ultimately we have God at the head of the table, and pray there, and on, and it kind of jettisons on down to those who are here to help us. Some people want
Hmm.
to call them angels, guides, masters, etc.
A
But
rose by any other name smells as sweet. Doesn't
yeah,
matter what you call them. It is what it is.
so and sometimes I'd in the store, I just my hand go into a certain book, or I just walk the aisles, going, what do I buy? What do I learn? And things would pop out like the I Ching and other books that that's 5,000 years old, and other
Mhm.
things that were newer. And then sometimes someone would walk up to me and say, "Have you read this book?" Or a
Oh,
patient
really?
would say, patients would bring me books. I had one patient bring me the leather bound double edition of
Some secret ancient manuscript.
yeah,
So,
well,
so how does this cellular soul, like with the cellular resonance soul to cell healing, why is it so important today? Because you have such a passion for it, and you've been doing this for almost 40 years. Why is it so important? Why now?
why now? Well, first of all, we are in. If you're not always already aware of this, we have our world has everything is like collapsing on itself. I mean, we're seeing the corruption within corporations and governments and agencies and all sorts of things coming to light. We have whistleblowers in all different directions talking about this thing and that thing. Not that I want to talk about that here, but the point is we are in an awakening state of consciousness for humanity. People all of a sudden awakening to things that, things that you and I know from a long time ago. They're becoming aware of that. They're becoming aware of, truth and lies, or even a suspicion that something isn't like, in an old movie term, something's not right here in Poughkeepsie. That's from, that's from an old gangster movie back in the Cagney,
So, so,
right? James
so
Cagney.
that reminds me of when the Mayans made their predictions back in 2012, and we had this whole big thing about, 2012, the world's going to end. I'm an astrologer. I've been an astrologer for 5 decades. What they were talking about is the fact that we were going through, gradually getting stronger and stronger, going through this neutrino belt of neutrinos coming at us and hitting us and literally transforming us. And so what we're going through is an awakening process. And there's, count them folks, 5 more years to go before this transition
Yeah,
moves into the next level, right? And then the
exactly.
years after that, it starts all over again with another level. So I think that's what you're talking about, is this awakening process, right?
Exactly.
So hold
Started.
that thought. hold that thought. We're going to go to a commercial. I want
All
you
right.
guys out in TV land to grab your phones, and I want you to put the camera on your phone because we're going to have a QR code. And every time we have a QR code, there's a wonderful gift for you, and they're quite valuable. So we'll be back in a minute with Vibe It Up, Multiple Streams of Wellness with Dr. Doug Lehrer and me, Lexi. See you in a minute. Oh, I'm laughing. I'm so sorry, but I have such a wonderful team. My team is like the United Nations. I've got people from all over the world, and I've noticed that some of them call you Doug with an H on the end. And when I look at the scanner code, we've branded it to my company, HIHA, which is standing for, it's my university online, Holistic Institute Higher Ascension. And they branded the link /DOUGH. I'm so sorry. I have to apologize for them, but I'm sitting here laughing all by myself. I'm so sorry. We'll fix that. We'll fix that. Okay, so we were talking about how does the cellular resonance technique actually work? The soul to cell healing. How does it actually work?
Well, first we need a great question. First, we have to understand that we're energy beings having a physical human experience, and all of our body has this soul body, and we know that a lot of people are understanding chakras, and maybe if you're a little more into it, subtle bodies. There's all these layers of energy that go in and through our bodies, but
And
every
just
cell.
so I can, I just sorry to interrupt you, but just so I can let the audience know, this is the wellness show, not the consciousness show. And the people in this audience are looking for information about wellness. They might not know this, so I'm just going to give a quick example. It's like when you stand in an elevator and somebody walks into the elevator and you feel like you're too close. That's your energy. You can feel their energy. That's the energy we're talking about. This elliptical energy field that's around us. So take the floor. Sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to put
Yeah.
that out there.
So importantly, actually, cellular resonance, when I trademarked it with the trademark office, they said, they gave me the trademark, but they said, do you understand that cellular resonance is a field of science that's a growing science? And I'm going like, I just made it up. I mean, I brought it down, but
Yeah.
literally there are scientists that are studying this cellular resonance. So I want you to understand that your cells have energy systems in them and around them, and the cells all communicate with energy, and energy resonance is sound. That a resonating sound, right? So cells communicate through sound impulses. So that's how I understood these sound impulses are communicate. When these messages are interrupted, that's when you get pain and sickness and dis-ease. So all health problems are really an interruption in the cellular resonance of your cell's communication. So that's how I came up with the name and understanding that. And I knew that in my heart. And then when I trademark it, they go, yeah, they're studying this in research and universities and stuff. So, though they just observe me, I look at how can I use that to help heal people. And so I figured out how to get these resonances to resynchronize and pulse together when you get, yes. So when there's the things, we'll call the things, the causes, interrupt this messaging, then that's when all of a sudden we have pain somewhere. Or we have all of a sudden, the doctor says, you've got XYZ disease. And you think, well, how long do I got, doc? What, you have a cure for it? Well, we got treatments, but no cures. And that's true. There's lots of treatments, but no cures. But when you restore the cellular resonance, the body starts to heal itself. Just like when you cut your finger, what do you need to do to heal? Nada, nothing, right? You just need to keep it clean and keep it from tearing open, and it'll put a scab there, and then in a few weeks, all of a sudden, oh, it's like you never had a cut at all, right? Because you have the healing power inside you. So cellular resonance work that I do, that I teach other practitioners, I've taught to medical doctors, chiropractors, and healers, psychologists, and acupuncture, and more around the world, is how to get these cells to resonate, remove the interference. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure. Make sure you have interference, and it's that interference. So in the perfection, we were created by a greatness that created the entire universe and creates more universes. They just have I just saw a nova thing on NASA. They sent a new telescope up there. It's so cool. And they're seeing new universes being birthed and growing and expanding, and it's an expanding universe. It's amazing. This is the power of creation, and it's in you. There's quantum physicists that actually have seen that our own heart is a black hole of creation. So what you think and what you feel in your heart, you create. So what are you creating in your life? Health, happiness, and success, disease, misery,
The
and
heart is a black hole.
what was that?
Okay. I'm sorry. Whatever you thought this show was going to be about, we gotta talk about this. I have never heard about the heart being a black hole. You put your
Of
foot in your mouth,
creation.
Jack.
Yeah, the essence of creation. So we co-create with the Creator, with God, our lives, and we're here on a mission and a purpose, and that is part of my little logo for cellular resonance, which is the journey of all true healing, which is transformation from fear to love, from the cell to the soul, from the soul to the cell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I'd love to hear
that's
that.
true healing. So that's what we're doing. This is how I'm helping people. And I've helped people heal just about anything. If you can ask me more about stuff, because people come to me from all over the world to say, can you help me with this and this and this and this? And it's so exciting because I go, okay, let's see what's creating this.
Okay, so are you going to tell me or not about this black hole thing, about the heart being a black hole? Because the heart's not black, right? It's beautiful. It's pumping red and gorgeous, right?
Well, you're
And a
thinking
black
about
hole.
you're thinking about the physical heart. So let's just differentiate. There's a physical heart and there's an energetic heart. I'm talking about the
glad you
energetic
clarified
heart.
that.
Yeah, and the energetic heart is a toroidal field. You know
Yep.
what that looks like? Imagine an apple with energy
Yep.
going through the core, and then that energy is pouring all around the apple and then going back in through the bottom. And it's going
Right. So
all
like
around.
like as if the we're talking about is like a donut, right? With a hole, and the energy comes up and around and through the donut hole, and same are on every possible side, right? That's the toroid. That's what they call a toroid.
Exactly. And when you see the heart, the heart that we see, that's a representative of the energy that would go up through the center of the heart, and that rolls around the outside, and it moves around like this, and it's this toroidal field. Now they closed
So
the bottom of it.
we are the human being is the donut hole. We're the apple core of the donut hole, right? And the heart's inside of it versus the beginning of it. It's the middle of it.
This is like a generation of energy. And this energy of the heart, we think of that's where the soul, we are supposed to embody the soul energy that flows through this heart. And then when we look at all the chakras and the central channel of energy through us, then we have a bigger toroidal field that goes through the heart and all around us, and there's this circulating energy. Yeah.
Well, there's more than one energetic body, right?
Oh,
there's
yeah.
lots
There's like I said, there's many overlays of this. So we have this toroidal field and the bigger toroidal field, and we have all the chakra energies, but those plug in through this core energy that goes around us. And any blockage in our energy, any interference in the external energy or the internal energy or the communication between the soul and the cells, and between the cellular resonance and the soul resonance. So we need to get the cells to resonate together and the cells to resonate with the soul resonance. That's why I call it cellular resonance, soul to cell healing, because
Okay.
it's really what it is. And we
So
need to
what
get
we're
out.
talking about, macrocosm and microcosm, right? We
Exactly.
get the macrocosm and the microcosm to vibrate at the same, instead of like all this, it starts to do it at the same time. And
Right.
when we're at the same time, we're healthy. And when we're not at the same time, we're not healthy. Is
Exactly.
that how
It's
okay.
really that simple. Really that simple. Certainly we get poisoned by things, but guess what? That was people thought the ego, the mind would, hey, I'm gonna make this stuff and make some money, but it poisons everybody, and then we get sick. Well, it's still men and women creating things that are affecting us. So really, all of our problems are man woman made.
Yeah.
So to
Okay.
speak.
Well, on that note, we're going to go to another commercial because I know there's another fabulous gift coming around the corner here. So grab your
All right,
phones.
here
And
we
if you don't
go.
have your phone, we can certainly use the link that's up there, but put your camera on your phone and scan it because it's really cool. And then you'll be able to get a beautiful gift from Vibe It Up, Multiple Streams of Wellness, and Dr. Doug Lehrer, Lexis, and whoever else is out there in our commercial sponsorship.
All right.
And we're back with Vibe It Up with Dr. Doug Lair, who is crossing over between the wellness show and the consciousness show, which is the 5 o'clock show. But there is a crossover because if you don't have your energy vibrating properly, and if you're not in resonance with every part of your body and your higher self, you're going to be out of whack, basically. So
Exactly.
is there like, has somebody ever written a book about here's the body and it needs to vibrate at this hertz or something, and here's the microcosm and that part of the celestial sky vibrates? Like, it would make sense, right? I wonder if
Well,
anybody's ever, is that what that the scientists are studying? Probably not.
you're studying all sorts of things. The things you just said are in pieces in different books. I'm, working on my main book right now that has a lot of this in there. Though I'm more at this point in my book talking about the mindsets to healing and the soul sets to healing, so people can focus their mind and their soul integration to how to really find what's really causing their problem, because we've got to deal with the cause. I mean, everybody has a cause that's within them. And here's the cool thing: when you
Mhm.
truly heal the cause of your physical illnesses, physical
Well,
pain,
yeah.
and your mental and emotional pain, you spiritually align, and it's what raises your consciousness. So
Well, I
the,
completely agree with you. I don't like the
that
concept of
healing
giving an
is a
aspirin.
consciousness journey.
I don't like the concept of giving an aspirin to a headache and years later finding out you had a tumor and the aspirin was never doing you any good, just masking or hiding it until it didn't work any longer. But do you know Louise Hay? You know the books that Louise
Yeah,
Hay has written,
yeah,
Color Me Healing and stuff like that. She talks about how every dis-ease in your body is a manifestation of a thought process or an emotion. That's kind of sort of what you're talking about, except yours isn't really the emotion more, or is it more the emotion? Like, I'm getting confused now. Which one's
it is.
more?
All right. So we get to cause. So our stresses in our life and the way that we
Mhm.
think and feel, our wounding, our core wounding, whatever it is, like my core wound was guilt. So no matter
Yeah.
what I did or what I said, I always had in the background this feeling of, did I do it right? I was like, am I guilty of, and that guilt, and then that was making me sick or not as successful or happy as I could be until I solved that with the resonance technique. But
Mm.
what we do is we have to look at these traumas because we all know, and even medicine studied all this. They say, 80 to 90%, I know it's 100%, but 80 to 90% of all illness and pain and so forth is all caused by stress. That's the
Illness, yeah,
traumas and
illness, absolutely.
the way we experience life. Now, you mentioned a tumor and an aspirin. Can I tell a tumor story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I just had a patient,
Talk about the happy
wonderful.
ending.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, we're working on that happy ending. I had a wonderful woman come see me yesterday, just yesterday, and she had medical treatment for a tumor behind her eye, and then
Ooh,
they took it out, and then they radiated her 30 times.
30
Got it?
times?
Yeah. So her face is so her nervous system, her whole system's all like discombobulated, and she has pain and
Ooh,
weird sensations on that side of her face.
that's
And
terrible.
she's a young woman. She's only about 40 years old, and,
My.
and precious, and she's worked for 3 years really well to try to heal herself because she doesn't look like someone who went through all that. She had like the right attitude. Remember, I said the
Mm.
mindsets to heal. I have all those in my new book that'll be coming out later this year, and so she was doing a lot of those, and then right nutrition and all those things to help her, but she was still stuck and still had these major symptoms that
Yeah.
people can't see, but she's experiencing, and that's all that matters. It's like the outside looking good, but you're not feeling so good inside. So
Hmm.
what I did was I traced the cause, and what it was she was her mom died literally the day the tumor started, and didn't want to see her mom die, and she saw her mom in a very short period, within a couple of weeks, die. So she didn't want to see her mother die. So that was the thought, but it really went back to her mother having a stillbirth, full term, gave birth, and the baby was dead or dying. It died right after it just like she saw it fail and die
Yeah.
before her eyes, and she didn't want to see her baby die. That's when it started. That imprint went into her when she was 2 years
Own
old.
baby, her own baby almost like died, was
The
born and then
mother's
died right.
baby, when she's two
The
years
mother.
old, when she's 2 years old,
Oh,
her mother's baby died. Her sister died, and then her mother got pregnant again when she was 4 years old. And guess what her mom thought about the whole 9 months? I don't want to
yeah,
see this baby die. And so
right.
she had these imprints of not wanting to see somebody, something, someone that you love so
Yeah,
dearly
yeah.
die. So she was fine up until this point, but then it builds up. And then finally, when she had the experience of, I don't want my mother to die, boom, she had a tumor to block the eye, to blind her in the eye, to not see her mother die. But her mother died because we're not in charge of other people's lives. I mean, they have their path, and her mother died. And so now she was going through her mother's cancer treatment that her mother didn't. Her mother died of cancer, just sudden, boom, and dead. So now she went through she had to create cancer to go ahead and treat cancer. So she had a chance. This is the way the mind works in the
Mhm.
background. So we all do this to ourselves, and understand that the original stress was her mother's that went into her, because between conception and 7 years of age, we pick up all of our mother's thoughts and feelings, the good, the bad, and the ugly ones.
Well,
And,
that's why I've always thought I was born with a hearing problem and I wear hearing aids, and I've had operations, so my hearing was improved. But then I worked in the oil fields and they didn't tell us to protect behind the ears.
yeah,
So we only protected in the inner ear. And so that part still hears the same as it always did. But now I've got nerve damage on top of it all. But
right.
I
That was
suspected,
another type of stress. There's
yeah, it
different
was,
types of stress.
and it was a vibration
Non-emotional,
too. It was a
yeah,
vibration too.
but we
I
have those
often thought,
external.
though, that there was something when I was a kid that I must have heard that I didn't wanna hear. I didn't wanna
Yeah,
know about.
yeah, it would have otherwise it would have healed. Once we got out of the
Yeah,
oil
I
field,
discovered it.
it should
We didn't
heal.
discover it until I was 14. So
Yeah.
we don't know at what point in time I had it. We just say it's congenital, but we don't know. Nobody will
Yeah.
ever know.
It's some stress in your system that set you up for it, and then then the oil field was the whammy at the end there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I just thank God I was able to get the mechanical help, and I did have the operation. So I'm not a person who's putting down everything about the medical industry. I just want people in the world to have choices. There's so many natural things that we can do that I want that for our for our watching audience here to be able to make choices, because what we went through with the pandemic was so stressful. It was absolutely horrible. So we're going to be back in a few minutes. We're going to have another commercial, but I want you to think about it because I'm going to ask you questions about dis-ease, okay, and what diseases you can help with. So get your phones out. We have another QR code for you to scan, and we'll be right back with Vibe It Up, Multiple Streams of Wellness, and Dr. Doug
Cool.
Lehrer and Lexi. Yeah, we're back. We're back, and we're still
You're back.
laughing. Streams of Wellness and Vibe It Up, and Dr. Doug Lehrer. So I wanted to ask you, what kind of physical health problems that you yourself have experienced that your soul to cell healing has helped people? Have you got some good stories for us?
Wow. I thought that was a pretty good one. I just told, and
I love
she's
that
by
story.
the way, in 24 hours, she came in and I saw her yesterday the first time. Today she came in and she says it's 30% better, changed already in
That's good.
the weird numbness and
So she
weird.
can see out of that eye, right?
Yeah, she can. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
yeah. The doctor,
Great.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Her vision is fine now, but she has the other problems with that side of the face because they cut a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
nerves in the
Nerves,
surgery.
exactly.
Yeah, they cut
Yeah.
a lot of nerves. So helping your body to regenerate nerves. So I help people
With
with
other
neuropathy.
illnesses.
Yeah, so I've helped people heal neuropathy. Understand, I don't heal anything, but I remove the interference, get your body to work right so it will heal it, right? So
What did
we're
you
getting,
call it, though?
what was that?
Neuropathy?
Oh,
I
I've
know
helped
what it
people
means.
with
What is
neuropathy. That's a pain syndrome, usually down at the leg or an arm. Neuropathy, radiculopathies, herniated discs like I had. Obviously, I've
it?
helped people balance their blood pressure, help people heal diabetes, liver disease, kidney disease. I've
So
helped
when
people.
so all of these different things, people are taking, let's say, diabetes and medication, for example. Those they're taking metformin basically for
Right.
diabetes. Let's just say it what it is. Do you help people lower their dosage, eliminate the need for it? Like, what is it that cell to soul resonance helps with diabetes? Is it
I get
before,
people,
is it insulin or what? Like,
yeah.
what is?
Well, first of all, like diabetes is a loss of happiness in life in
Looking for the
general.
sweetness of life. Yeah.
Yeah, the loss of sweetness of life. So we need to heal what made them lose that. I had a lady who had diabetes, and the cause was she was abused by her mom. So once I
Oh.
helped her to heal that from the cell to the soul, soul to the cell, and get her
Mhm.
cells working, it turned back on her liver and her pancreas and all of her organ glands, hormone. Because remember, everything works together. You gotta
Mhm.
understand that it's not just a pancreatic problem. It's a lot. It's a lot of things that culminate to that thing with insulin. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the real deal is is, the stress short-circuited the system, overloaded it, and now we have to heal that stress
Okay,
through the
okay.
body.
Stop. You should have been a lawyer. I asked you a question. You didn't answer the question here. In your experience, people that come to you and they're taking all these medications, after you've worked with them for any number of times, do they have a reduction or elimination of those medications?
I've helped thousands, actually probably tens of thousands of people make drugs unnecessary because they healed and
Pharmaceutical
and
drugs.
and they didn't require that stuff anymore to prop them up day by day.
Thank you. That's what I was
Yeah,
trying to
but
find
I
out.
don't take anyone off them. I just help people heal so they don't need
Right,
them.
right. Right. I
Yeah.
know. People should go back to their doctors and get tested properly, and then the doctors will say, "Oh, you don't need as much medication anymore. We'll just
I
release
work with
you."
them and their doctors, absolutely. I send them back and forth. We do pre and post blood tests. We see how they're going along the way. Diabetics, they happen to have a little test kit on them all the time to test the
Yeah,
blood
yeah.
sugar. So they're always aware of that. And we do have ups and downs in that particular illness of when you eat and when you don't, and when you're fasting, it changes. When you're stressed, it goes up and down. But when it gets stuck where it's so high, or type 1 that goes so low and then so high,
Mm,
we have to get the brain and nervous system to re-regulate those things and get the communication between the brain and the organs and glands all to work together. When you do
mhm,
that, then the body works. And uh, energetics, this is important for the audience. Bioenergetics determine biochemistry. So the energy and the energy flow and how that's working is really what controls what your biochemistry shows up at. And doctors look at the biochemistry and try to change it at that physical chemical level. And they do help a lot of people, manage their illness, but they never really heal. And I do is help people figure out why they have the problem, and then we heal
mm.
that, and then get everything to
Yeah, well, it
work.
makes sense that you go right to the source, figure out what caused it in the
Yeah,
first place.
I've
So,
helped thousands of different kinds of conditions. I mean,
mhm. People who do a different kind of energy work, like Reiki. A lot of people know what Reiki is, and there's
yeah,
lots of different kinds of Reiki. But how is what you do, cellular resonance, similar or different to Reiki and other energy healing modalities?
yeah. I mean, great question. A lot of people are like moving energy around or putting different energies, in the body, like the Reiki symbols, energies,
Mhm.
and so forth. And all those things can be very helpful. In fact, they have Reiki in hospitals all over. So, they do see a shift and change. Where my
Mhm.
work is different is I get very pinpointed. Just like I figured out the lady with the tumor had medical treatment to help her, at that point. Now she has these other problems. We need to get to the cause. And the cause was she didn't want to see her mother die, and her mother didn't want to see her baby die. And both of
Yeah.
those impulses were inside her. I had a little girl with 2 holes in her heart, 11 years old,
Aw.
and they wanted to, do, surgery and cauterize the holes. But the
Mm.
holes were when she got those when she was born. She had them when she was born, and this little angel, Jessica, she her father died when she was in the womb. So she
Oh
had
my
a
god.
hole in her heart from her father dying. So I just helped her heal that imprint of her father dying, and her when she experienced that in the womb, and her
Mm.
mother's loss, the hole in her mom's heart, and and uh, and she went back to. We sent her back to the hospital, and a few months later, and they did all their cardiological, things that they do, and they said we find there's no holes. The holes are gone. They're
That's
healed.
amazing.
I
That's
only spent
amazing.
I only spent a few hours with the child and a few hours with the mother because I needed to treat the
Yeah.
mother
I
too
think
because
kids heal faster, even on an energetic level, right?
right. So it's all about energy. Einstein said, everything is energy. Everything. Anything that interrupts energy creates a different outcome. So we need to clear what's interrupting that energy flow of your body
Mhm.
so they can function properly. And that's what we
Mhm.
do with cellular resonance. And that's how it's different than really all the other energy medicines or energy work and chiropractic and acupuncture and so on, because we're working with the mind and how it's interfering with the body. We're working with the energy system where there's blocked energy or the energy's not flowing, and
Well,
we want to heal the body every
I know
time.
that you teach other doctors, other chiropractors, naturopaths, homeopaths, traditional Chinese medicine. I know you teach these types of other professionals
Yeah,
how to do your type of healing work. So
yeah,
I'm of the impression that it works along with some of these other healing modalities, right? It can
absolutely.
replace it, but
I
also
mean,
work on.
I only do cellular resonance on my patients, and it works just great. But other
Yeah,
practitioners will use a combination. Like I trained an ER doctor. He's still going to do.
really.
He's still, yeah, great guy, and and he still needs to do his medical training on
Yeah.
some of the people that need that. But here's what he told me. He said, I close the curtain. I ask the questions you taught me. I touch the different points on the body. I help them reprocess the stress and clear the stress pattern that's creating their problem. And I release 80% of the people that come into the AR. 80% of them, which goes right along with the medical research, and he's doing a good job, by the way, if he's doing that. And then whatever
Mhm.
he's spending an hour or two with each patient, and boom, they're, oh wow, the heart palpitations are gone, doc. Oh wow, that pain's gone, doc. Oh, whatever they came in. The other 20% needed medical intervention, and medicine, you know, is needed for a lot of different things. We have some great stuff that comes out of that. So those people needed, to have their
Mhm.
drugs, shifted, or maybe their stitches came out and they had to redo that, whatever it is. So, but that's experience. So I'd love to train more medical doctors,
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
get more people, well, because you can treat an illness, that's okay, but what I do is treat the cause of the illness, and that sets forth the body's ability to heal itself.
Interesting, interesting. So I know that you founded your own school of
Yes.
energy medicine. So I want to ask you why you did that. Like, why would you decide to open a school centered completely around energy medicine, like quantum healing and self mastery? Like, why would you do that?
Well, basically, I got a message that I needed to teach. And the message came
Okay.
over and over again. I was just in practice seeing, 50, 60, 70, 80 people a day, doing really well, big practice. And I got this message. I need to get this word out to more people. I need to share what I've learned with others. And, now I'm in my, I'm getting, on the calendar date, I don't want lost what I've learned, because
Mhm.
I haven't seen anything like this out there. And I consistently get results on people who are willing to work on the stresses, show up, and help me help them get
Mhm.
well. They show up and they keep showing up. They get better and better and better until their functions come up to a level of what the doctors would go like, oh, that illness doesn't exist anymore. They do their pre and post tests. It's great. Other people just know they're well, and they don't go back to their doctor because they're well. When they tell their
Mhm.
doctor they're better, and the doctor goes like, how did that happen? You want to know? No, maybe not. It's kind of threatening,
Yeah,
because they doctors go through a whole lot. I went through a whole lot to go through, chiropractic
exactly.
college, and then and
Yeah.
then and then my other board certifications, and it's a lot of stress, a lot of time and energy, and it's you know to do what you do and not get that kind of result. I mean, I literally treated some medical doctors who come out, show me how this thing works, and I work on them like they had a bad knee or something, and then they run up and down the stairs after I work on them. They go, I don't believe it. All the pain's gone. I have no disc there. I have no meniscus, and it feels good. How did that happen? How is that possible? I said, well, you just
I know,
experienced
I
it.
know.
So
I don't even
possible.
like. I got to tell you a personal story here. I mean, I've had a dozen, like probably 2 dozen different stories I could tell you about Doug and healing something within my own body. But just the other day, I came to you and I said, "This shoulder's out of whack. It feels like somebody's dislocated it." And he said, "Oh, point to the spot." And I'm like, "Oh, I can hardly even touch it. It's way back here." And he said, "Oh yeah, I know what that is." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" And he says, "Just do this." And I'm like, "Okay," and shut up and listen. And it got better. Like immediately, I was like, I don't believe this. Like, where did that go? Like, what happened? And the next day it came back. And I said, okay, dog, what happened? Did I not stop believing in the magic or what? He said, oh no. He said, let me go back in and let me look at this again. He comes back in, he says some more magic words, which the magic words are, I don't know, come up with something. You told me to say some silly thing about, I can't even remember
Fulfillment.
what you to say anymore. But whatever it was just this little innocuous sentence that didn't even make any sense. It was like English. It was an actual sentence, but it had no real actual meaning to me. It was something about, oh, I don't know, about being proper or living a
I was
polite life. I
accessing
don't know.
I was accessing the subconscious memory stress, the
Okay.
subconscious memory stress, SMS, the SMS, subconscious
Okay.
memory stress that was causing the problem. You just happened to have more than one. So when I worked on you, I worked on one of the
I am an
stresses. And
onion. I tell you, I'm an onion. I have layers and layers and layers.
so,
That's not
yeah,
the only
so,
thing. That went
yeah,
away, and it does come back, and it leaves, and it comes back, and it leaves. And whatever it was, you pinpointed it, and whatever the thing is you said, "What's stressing you lately?" And I went, "Oh, well," and then I told you, and you said, "Oh, well, that's what it was." And you instantly said, "Say these words," and I said those words, and look up and look down and concentrate and hold your breath. And the next thing I know, it's better. But I wanted to tell you this one about I asked you the question about have you helped people get off their medicines, but you helped me get not started on a medicine because I had an episode earlier this year about genetically, I come from a history of my dad having atrial fibrillation, which is heart palpitations. And I had a very, very stressful period in my life where I was working like 16-hour days, not getting enough sleep, not eating properly. I was away, I wasn't home, I didn't have my things around me. I had no friends. They were friends, but they weren't my friends. They were just nice people, but they weren't all nice people. And I was really stressed. And not everybody was appreciative of the hard work I was doing. And I was feeling very underloved. And the last day that I was there and I was supposed to go home, I was asked, can you stay another day? And then that was my boss. And the other person who was in charge of me at the location didn't like me. And 15 minutes before I was supposed to go to bed, called me up and said, "Oh, you don't have to come back tomorrow. You can leave now. Like right now, you can pack up and leave." I'm going to bed. I'm not like I'm just what's going on here? And
yeah,
the next
beware of what you
morning,
have on your mind before you go to bed.
when I woke up, I was just vibrating and I was
Right.
weak and I didn't feel great. And the guy that was in charge of the project called me up and he said, you know, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about her. Just pack up. I'll deal with it. I'll pay you for the extra day. Don't even worry about it. Off you go. I was so discombobbled from this disorientation. And it was during the time where the police were all doing this thing in Canada with Ottawa and truckers were going to Ottawa and we had a lot of stress. And the only radio station we had was all this negative talk about what was going on. So I wasn't getting any of my usual
All that
positive
stress.
law of attraction stuff. That next day, I think I had a heart attack. If it wasn't a heart attack, it was damn near close. And for weeks, I wasn't feeling well and I couldn't function. And as it happened, we got talking, and I guess I hadn't talked to you for a while. And you said, "Oh, well, I can help." And I'm like, really? Why are we not fixing this? Let's get at it. And long story short, my doctor has now fired me because I refuse to go in and have all those myriad numbers of tests that he wants me to do because I don't have any more atrial fib. It just doesn't happen. No more palpitations, no more feeling weak, no more feeling out of body and shaky and like
Right.
something's going to happen. I feel great.
It's as simple as this: cause, effect, cause, effect. Doctors are treating effects. If we treat the
Mm,
cause and the cause is gone, what happens to the effect?
doesn't have to be there.
It's
Yeah,
not there
exactly.
either. So you got to treat the real cause. It's the stress, but the stress is real. It goes into our body and it gets stuck in there. We got to find where the stress is stuck and get the body to dissolve that. And that's what we do with the cellular resonance technique. And I
So
think we have some
basically,
of my patients. Don't we have some of my patients in the studio?
oh, I forgot all about your patients. Yes, let's bring them on in. Forgot all about your patients. I got so hung up on all these other
I
things.
know they're
I was
texting. Oh, we got to come on. We want to talk about you.
well, we've got about 6 minutes. Okay, so let's go to a commercial really fast. Bring in your patients. We'll have a really quick
All right.
session.
Your
Okay.
studio, they're sitting somewhere in the studio. Yeah.
Yep, they're there. They're here. They're here. Don't worry
All
about
right.
it. Okay, we're going to go for a quick commercial. Scan the QR code. We've got another gift for you. And then we got an exciting demonstration. We'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry, I've got a little puppy here. I'm giving him treats. I'm so sorry about that. I forgot all about that. You had guests coming, and we have Dina and Jeffrey and Eva, and oh my goodness, there's so many. I'll let you introduce them. Do your magic.
All right. Well,
let's
see. Why don't we talk to? We have Dina and Jeffrey together. Why don't you just say a little bit something? Oh, it's Hala who just got in there. And then we have Eva in between, and we have Deco in Hawaii.
Ooh, Hawaii.
Yeah. There's our coconut. So please share just a 1-minute experience with your care and what we do, and anything you'd like to share, Dina and Jeffrey first.
Hey, so I started seeing Dr. Doug about 1.5 years ago. When I first went in, I had a major injuries to the left side of my body. I had a torn ankle, knee, hip. I had bulging discs in my back, nerve damage in my neck. I had seen every kind of doctor, and it wasn't until I started working with Dr. Doug that everything started to fade away. I mean, within 2 to 3 months, all the pain that I've been experiencing for over 2 years kind of just wiped away. And then since then, I mean, everything has kind of changed. Everything is, I feel healthier, happier, like just full of love and abundant, like pretty much all the time.
Wow. It's amazing. Wonderful. Thank you. Dina.
Hi, Dr. Doug. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I've been seeing Dr. Doug for the last 1.5 years. At some points more consistent than others. And a lot of things just started, blossoming in my life. And about 3 weeks ago, I had a sort of an emergency episode. And before that, I had never had anything really major, although there were major shifts happening in like my personal life, my family, root causes of issues of things. And then it wasn't until 3 weeks ago where I had this major episode where I literally crawled on the ground to the bedroom, asking Jeffrey to help me, being like, what do we do? Do we go to the ER? Is this an appendicitis? I don't know. And we're like, okay, if we really believe in this work, let's call Dr. Doug. And it was 6:30 in the morning. And he's like, okay, I'll meet you in 20 minutes. Get her on the table. And so we get there, an hour into it, we find the root cause, and the pain started dissipating. But before that, I mean, it was excruciating, like yelling, screaming, wailing, and, was moving into my appendix, but we caught it before that happened. And I mean, my body took a little time to recalibrate afterwards, about a day or so. And I was completely fine and everything went away. And so while my life was already in this most beautiful place, I'm pretty sure I like called it in to see like, all right, let's really give this a good old tester in a moment of, do I truly believe in the power of this medicine and this healing work? And yeah, that was awesome. It for me. And we've been in the training to also be practitioners now. And we've been, doing a lot of work on friends and family since then. And they've been experiencing, really quick shifts with little ailments they've been having. So Yeah.
That's
Dina and
amazing.
Jeff came to my class last week. So they were in my class, like, what is it, 2 weeks now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
about 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago. And then they went and visited their families, and we were working on their families.
Well, I remember that day because Dr. Doug and I happened to be talking that day, and he was so excited and impressed at how you recovered so quickly, and he couldn't wait to tell me all this. So I was very impressed as well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Eva, share with Eva.
Hi, everyone. So I believe it's already like a 1 year that I'm seeing Dr. Doug, also consistent and not consistently. And he supported me so much with my confidence. I feel more confident walking on this earth and doing what I do, which was amazing. And he supported me in attracting a lot of abundance into my life and a lot of bliss and a lot of beauty. But I think it was 2 weeks ago, Dina actually inspired me with trusting in the work. So I got a UTI, which has been like a consistently coming back UTIs. And I didn't want to get another round of antibiotics. So I remembered Dina's story. And I was like, okay, so if I really do trust this work, I get to text Dr. Doug. And he was so nice to get me in the next day. I texted him 3 a.m. in the morning, by the way. but he was really nice. He responded first thing in the morning, and I got on a table and got rid of the UTI on spot. So yeah, I cannot be more grateful, and it never came back, and I'm hoping it will never come. And if it comes, I know there is another thing I get to work on. And
We got to the cause, though. We got to that very specific cause. So that cause is dissolved. So we're not coming back.
That's terrific. I love to hear it. Well, he did the same thing for me this past week too.
Wow.
Exactly the same problem. Exactly the same thing.
Yeah. And can you share what like, if you want to, you don't have to, because it's like your work. But when we cleared that problem, it was related to a work stress that was stimulating it. And what changed at work? What did you discover within, like, this is really
yes.
woman in front of you.
Right, because I'm a researcher, I'm a scientist, and I need to just wrap this project up and get it published. So Dr. Doug was like working with the Lexis, we all know how it works. So the project is gonna be sorted out by the end of this week. And I was like, yes, it's Friday. I still have 2 days. So we finished the session about like 7 p.m. and I got back to the lab and I was sectioning some results and I found out the phenotype I was looking for the whole time. I don't know how many years. So it feels like it's, closing up the whole story, and I will be able to wrap it up soon.
Yeah, so we cleared the blocks for figuring out this big scientific discovery thing. Isn't so
right? Yeah, and it makes sense because if I would be with UTI and antibiotics, not feeling well, I would not have the energy to put into the research and the science. So, yeah, I cannot be more grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Maybe we have a moment for Hala really quick. This is Hala on the far left
Hi,
or right.
everyone. I have many, so I'll just pick one. I've known him, I believe, in 2011, and he's been a magic wand for me in every aspect of my life. One I'll share is when I was in bed for 3 months back in 2011. I couldn't not move. A little bit about my background back then. I'm very holistic. I live in natural lifestyle. I was doing yoga every day. I was power walking at lunch, and I just lived holistically healthy in food, environment, and every way. But I crashed. I was in bed for 3 months, and you name it, I did. I did the medical way, which I'm a holistic. I believe in the holistic, but nothing worked. So I even tried a medical until a magic happened and I met Dr. Doug, and he worked on me, and I was out of bed. and no one else was able to help me. And as I say, you name it, I have tried, I have done, in regards to diet, in regards to therapists, in regards to all of it.
What
But
happened in your pre and post tests? Because you had a bunch of tests that showed.
yes, one of them was a thyroid, the TSH, and they labeled me as an autoimmune of Hashimoto's. And my lab has changed number without any meds, without any supplements, not even holistic supplement, nothing. Because I was like in bed, I couldn't even get out of bed. So I had completely, I'm a very positive person. I had completely lost hope and everything as I prayed and asked, and miracle happened. I'm telling you, it's hard to believe, but Doug appeared through connections, and the lab changed. I literally gave a lab, and if I show you the lab, I have proof. Like, it changed, like magically changed without anything. So
normal.
that was my biggest and one of the most grateful. I'm like grateful, forever grateful for that I was able to get up, go back to work, and function. I wasn't able to function before that, so I'm grateful.
That's amazing. That's a great story. Thank you.
We have time for Deckel. I know we're like running over the hour here.
That's okay. We can run over.
All right. Hi, Deckel in Hawaii.
Aloha. I met Dr. Doug through a relative, and I think my first encounter with him was.
Do you have a window open? Do you have a window open in your car?
Not AC, but
yeah, it's like I hear something mechanical. There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Because we want to hear you.
So I met him. I'm just in the car. It's so hot and humid out. I met him through my uncle, and I think what really stood out to me within like the first few moments of meeting with him is that his type of work and healing is unlike anything I believe I've ever experienced in this life or any other. And it was so profound, how immediate and how instinctual it was, and how it wasn't some experiment. It was an in tune, in depth search and find of whatever the cause of the issue was, and then to transmit and generate enough love and forgiveness and healing in that moment to that spot that would allow a complete transformation. And I want to add that Ms. Johnson, you said like, well, why does it show up again like the next day? And that's such a good like question, because I often, like, after receiving healing, I'm like, oh, there it is again. But it's different now because it's shifted the energy in that one area. So it's showing up to continue to receive healing. Right. So for me, I went to Doug for so many things. One of which is, a relationship, and just being in this epigenetic tie with my, family, and attracting that lifestyle like that my mom had, just like really Israeli men, and cleared that with him completely from, my epigenetics. And I attracted this amazing man in my life, my husband, and who is in the car with me, with his son and my brother right now, and just have been able to clear so many elements and parts of life that have taken what fragmentation I've kind of felt out in the world from the different types of healing communities and types, because we've all tried it all, and to some degree, and call Doug, just like Dina said, and 3 a.m. like Eva said, and we just we know like this works. And coming out of his workshop, we're like, this works, and we want to show it with everyone else, and we want to be able to go out and celebrate like how efficient this is and how quick we can tap into it. So I'm eternally grateful for this work and the ability to share it in it with everyone on this call.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Doug, I'm going to let you ask a bunch of questions because I know we've gone over, but Arnold in the green room is capable of starting the other show, and he has started the other show because we are doing a simulcast at the 5 o'clock. So we're going to continue to talk, if you don't mind, if you can all stay. If you need to leave, just say goodbye and exit yourself out. But I'm going to let this continue if you don't mind, and we can edit out anything that we don't need so that we have, if you guys don't mind. These were wonderful testimonials. Doug would certainly love to be able to use these on his website and other places. If you wouldn't mind allowing him to do that, we've already got it recorded. So if that's fine with you, we can continue. Awesome. I love to see it. You can take the floor, Doug. You got a few minutes here.
Well, anything else that that my wonderful family of
I know Hallie's got some more stories. I can see it on her face.
I don't want to call anyone patients anymore. It's just like, do you want to join my family? I love all these. I love, people come. I mean, like I said, true healing is all about love, and it's about resolving those lower vibrations, our fears, anxieties, anger, resentment, upsets, hurts, judgments, all those things that we've taken in to our bodies and into our minds that are now affecting not only our physical and emotional health, but our relationships, how we carry ourselves in the world, our self-esteem, and of course, how we do life, business, and money, and all those things. And when you change from the inside, the deep core of within yourself, everything changes in your life. And so we have little snippets of those things here, and whatever you'd like to add, just jump in and share that with the world, because we are on like 95 different outlets, I think, with this show today. That this is going to Apple TV and Roku and
well, that wasn't a very good thing to say. Now everybody's camera shy.
Uh-oh.
Let me just say something here. I just want to say that I must be a pretty messed up person, because I keep calling myself an onion, that I have so many layers, and I have so many layers that Doug has worked with me for what, year and a half, 2 years now. And I'm so much better than I was 2 years ago. I can't even tell you where I was 2 years ago. I had a stalker in my life, and I'd been abducted, and I was just an absolute mess. And here I am. I'm a very strong, independent woman, back to being the woman I used to be. And I've created this whole empire with 3 TV shows, and I've got 20 some odd people working for me. So something's working, but I still have these layers that haven't been corrected. So ladies and gentlemen, tell me your stories so that I will feel encouraged to keep working with Doug, because I know this works, but I get discouraged because it isn't fast enough. It's true, Doug.
May I say
Well,
something?
it depends on how fast people can learn, first of all, their lessons. And it's also to remember, the body is sharing, is giving you a message from your brain to your body, and your soul to your body. Here's what you need to work on. That little pain right there that just popped up, that's your body telling you, your soul through your body, here's what you need to work on. It's just that no one's been trained to go, tell me, what are you all about here? Instead, we go like, oh, I don't like this, get rid of it. No, it's like, what are you trying to share with me
Doug's
today?
one man show.
And whether it's a shoulder pain or cancer or a heart attack. I mean, I had a heart attack. I mean, it was 300. It was pound. I felt like a 300-pound wrestler was on top of my chest. I woke up in the morning with it, and pain down the left arm into my fingers, and I was going, See, most people would panic, but see, I already knew if you panic, you push yourself further into the problem. So instead, I went to curiosity, which is, by the way, one of the mindsets to heal. Hint, curiosity. And I go deeper into this curiosity path, so you really understand it. I was going, I wonder what's causing this. And I really knew, because all I had to do is turn the other direction and look at my wife, and going, I know it's a stress about her and being married, and my heart's been hurting for a long time, and I just didn't face it because I didn't want to take that next step, which is that evil D word, right? Divorce. And so I've been just not doing that and living a lie, and my heart was telling me, you ain't going to do this anymore, Doug. And so in doing that, I began my forgiveness process that I teach very
Mm.
unique and deep. I knew that heart problems are excess acidity. It's caused by your mind and stress. So I drank some special powder I have that reduces the acid, and did that. And then I got on the phone and it lightened up a little bit. And then I called my best friend, who we went to school together, does this work with me. And I said,
Ah,
yeah, I said, hey, Dr. Don, I love Dr. Don. When you come over and treat, I said, what do you think of these symptoms? And he goes, well, sounds like you're having a heart attack, Doug. I said, yeah, can you come over? He said, sure. And so he worked on me, and it just, and a heart attack is just a spasm of the third ventricle. That's all it really is. And so when you get the brain to release the spasm, no more heart attack. It's really that simple. You don't have to zap and zap.
Yeah.
But I understand, if you don't have this here, then please go to the hospital, let the doctors do what they do. But me, I knew I knew.
interrupt you because you brought all these lovely people here and they're sitting here
So
listening to
anyhow,
you.
I'll shut up here.
So I know somebody said they were going to talk, and this is Billion. This is my
Oh,
baby.
adorable.
He's
We
a
love
French
Billion.
bulldog, and he's 7 months old, and I've only had him for a couple of weeks. Come on,
He's
look at the camera.
hugging you and licking you all over.
I know he loves me, but he wants his attention. This is my time to take him out. He says, "Come on, girl, let's go." Okay,
All right.
so
So
somebody said they had another story. Who
more
was it?
shares. Who had a
Deco or
share?
Holly?
Okay.
Somebody said,
Which one would you like me to share? You pick and
Go
choose.
for it. Go for it, Hala.
I have so many, as you were saying, there's so many layers that you don't know that it's even there till you come across, ow, I'm hurting. So I reached out to Dr. Doug. It's like, I got the sciatica. I can't even move. I'm in a lot of pain. So I know there's an emotion behind it. And actually, my last day of my previous job was back in 2016, I believe. And it hit me. Actually, it was not a while back that I had to reach out to him. It was something that my boss had said to me. It has affected me, and I was in a lot of pain. So, and the sciatica was strong. It was hitting really strong. So I reached out to him, and we cleared that sciatica. And so it's the thoughts that keep triggering an emotion. And that emotion, any part of my body that aches, I reach out to him because I know there's an emotion. Even though when you don't know, like that was back in 2016 and I thought I cleared everything, but it was obviously not cleared. That's one thing. And another one I'll share is about the relationship I had with money. Because I had put myself stuck in a corporate world, which is not my passion. It's just not my true calling. So I kept on getting symptoms one after another. And I was wondering why it's not healing. So I reached out and we had to dig into different aspects. And I had an issue with money without even knowing. So we cleared that. And so I wasn't welcoming abundance into my life. So he
That's
was able
amazing.
to go
much
deep
for sharing.
into that, which I had no idea because it went way back. And and I was just like, what is it? Everything I touch is not working. So I'm getting stuck in corporate. So after he worked on me, I was open and open the world of creating creation, to be creative and start creating and not be stuck. And now I love money. I used to hate it because every time I would say, I don't need money. All I need is love. So.
Oh, well, I'm glad that changed. Doug, can you, I don't want you to go too far into the rabbit hole here, but can you just give us not her example, but somebody's examples of different types of things that you heal with money? Like when you were a kid, money doesn't grow on trees, those kind of things. Because I know you said those kind of things to me. What other ones have you got?
That was for me, right? That question?
Yeah, that's a question for you, Doug. You're the doctor. I'm a doctor too, but you're a different doctor.
Well, everyone's different. We do have a bunch of money beliefs, and those things should get cleared. However, a really common one is, if somebody who makes the money like doesn't give it to us, like doesn't support us in any kind of way, we feel unsupported, and then that can show up in money. So I find that one a big one. A lot of people, a parent dies, or when a father leaves in a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
These things don't look like money, but they are the energy of money with that person leaving or dying. So this is really common. And when you consider that like 50 some plus percent of the people get divorced, and when their kids are smaller, or really any age, but in the 0 to high school level, but especially when it's 0 to 10, that's going to have a big effect on the child in their ability to make money and or be capped at a certain level. So you got to find what it is in each person. Some people, they honor their father so much they can't make more money than their father, and their father made this much, and that was their cap. So I always have to take them beyond that cap, that they have that image, or they were told they were worthless, or they were never going to amount to a hill of beans, or whatever they were told, and those things will translate again into money stuff. But a lot of people can make a lot of money, and then all of a sudden they're still unhappy, because that also was built from their wound, from their pain, and then they end up losing it, or get it stolen, or whatever happens. So we have to look at that history
Well,
with people.
we worked on it too with me, Doug, and I don't mind being an example. I had a lot of these same issues. I had a father that spent all of his time working. We lived in our home that we worked out of as well, and he would spend a lot of time in the shop, which was the basement. So I'd get up in the morning, he'd still be in bed. I'd come home after school and do whatever I needed to do, get my homework done, go to bed, and he'd still be down in the basement working. So I felt unsupported as well. And I had issues that I was the last born in the family, and my brothers and my parents were in their late 40s when I was born. And then I had brothers who were 18 and 11 when I was born. So they were that much older than I was. And the consensus was, you don't need to get a good education. You don't need to go out and worry about working. You're going to marry some guy and he'll take care of you. And how did that work out? I got married. I was a trophy wife. Some guy took care of me. And guess what? Turned out that after we sold his business, found out that his little drinking problem started at 9 a.m. And now I had 7 kids with him, and I had to worry about who's going to keep the kids safe from their dad. If he's not going to help me with the big bad wolf, and he is the big bad wolf, then I might as well do it alone. So now I was unsupported. And so I went through the ups and downs and all over the places of whatever I went through. And when I finally met Dr. Doug, I didn't know he did all this work. It took, I don't know what, we knew each other 10 years before I realized you did all this. We just didn't talk all the time. And when we finally started talking about this, you went, oh, I can help you with that. When we started working on that, I immediately got more money for what I was doing. And when we finally got to the unsupported thing, because that wasn't top of mind, I never thought I had those problems, because I had a great dad. I had a great family. I thought I had the best family in the world. I didn't know they screwed me up. Right? Everybody's family screws them up. But when we finally got to the core and figured it out, the next week I made $22,000 in 8 days, and 3 of those days were a long weekend. Just saying. So, and now I have this little empire. So it works, folks. It works. So I'm going to shut up again. Does anybody else have any more stories? Because we're way over time here, and we're going to need to shut this down.
Anything more to share? Eva, Dina, Jeffrey?
So in terms of relationships, me and Dina kind of use Dr. Doug as a therapist. Like, he told us, every little thing that bugs you, even the slightest, even a little bit of annoyance, write it down and bring it in. And I mean, I know that I had my first relationship, I was cheated on. It kind of broke my heart. And I was like kind of repeating cycles of kind of toxic relationships. And I was, in the beginning of our relationship, I was feeling kind of the jealousy or insecurity. And it was clear that it was still stored in my body. And so wiping some of that stuff out, like, there's no thoughts of that anymore. There's no insecurity in our relationship or any thoughts of jealousy. And we've just used him on a, pretty consistent basis to just clear anything that comes up, because we know it's we're just serving as the person to like bring awareness to that trigger. It's really not coming from, Dina or me, and it's something from childhood, something from the past, and we just bring it in and clear it, and then we'll still be able to communicate about it, but we're not coming from a stressed place. We're not coming from an uneasy or like really emotional place. We're pretty neutral about it, and we can figure it out very easily.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and as a result, I don't think there's anything, we know that we have a lot of love in this relationship, and we truly come from a place of supporting one another and wanting each other to be happy. And over the course of the last 6 months or so, when we were really working with Doug specifically in this area, because we had definitely gone through challenges, ups and downs, especially in the beginning, that needed to be worked through. But when we decided to really make this a clear point of let's shift this, over the last 6 months, things just became easier for me. It was around receiving. He has so much to give. And while I've been supported in my life, it was never I didn't feel it was ever from a place of like true unconditional support. There was always some sort of string or baggage along with it, especially with my other partners, especially in the field that I wanted to be in. And so when it got to, being with Jeff, it was like, here's all of this. And I had a really hard time letting it in. And that was a point of contention for us. And so between that and some of our other little struggles over the last 6 months, the reflections from others, have been outstanding. And for us, it's like, we're just like, oh, that's cool, and it's a really nice reminder that the work that we're doing is showing up within our bodies in the embodiment of love for each other and all those around us. And that's one of our greatest missions, is to show people big love. And that starts from our home, our individually and together, and what we share with the world. And we're so grateful to Dr. Doug for that, because I think a lot of people could say they want their relationships to be healthy and full of love and support.
But it's it's the journey to love within us and for each other. We're here to do that. So thank you.
Any last words from anybody?
Yeah, I think I would like to close up with the laugh. So one thing I will again be eternally grateful for Dr. Duck is supporting me and healing the grieving process, because my dad passed away 1.5 years ago, and it has been just, I cannot even like explain that in words, because this support from Dr. Duck just meant an utter world to me, because it just enables me to deal with the whole process with a lot of grace and just trusting and knowing that we are the unconditional love, that we are the light, we are the source, and we have the gifts that we get to share with this world.
Okay, I have a question, and I promise that we are recording, but I promise we'll cut this part off. I just want to know the amount of money that you paid Doug. Would you gladly pay more for what you now know you could get from him? Could you please tell him? He'll keep your prices the same, but he can charge everybody else double, right? There you go. Okay, Doug, you've now heard it from all of them. So keep them the same, because we've used them as guinea pigs, and they've certainly done their share of edifying you today. But you can raise your prices because you're worth it. He's amazing, right?
Magic wand.
Make me cry. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So, Doug, do you have any last words? Because I'm going to get Arnold to give our extra music here.
Yeah, extra. I have patients waiting out there. I didn't know we would run over.
Final words?